the closest I ever came to acting. Before I begin, I need to explain that when I was 17, I worked as a popcorn candy girl in a neighborhood theater that opened 3 to 11 on weekdays and 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. Saturdays and Sundays. Behind me, there was a curtain. And when the movie started, no one was buying anything, so I pulled the curtain back a little and I watched the movie. I was paid $7 a week, which I gave to my mother. What if? When I was a child, I was extremely shy, painfully insecure, and I don't know why. Perhaps because Daddy died when I was 5. Would it have been different if he were alive? Sometimes I wondered, and I dreamed a lot, making sure no one was within earshot. I sometimes would sing and dance to a tune while listening to Bing Crosby croon. No one knew of my acting desire. Even the thought made me perspire. So I kept my secret throughout my life and just became a mother and a housewife. There were times when I reached 17 and I watched the movie stars on the screen. I would watch movies behind the curtain while slivering popcorn and candy with chagrin. While watching westerns, I was a cowboy's girl, giving that old rope a hefty twirl. But when that movie turned dramatic, my thoughts would maybe make your ears burn. I remember the movies in days of yore. Today's generation might call them a bore. The heroes never kissed the girl, just kissed his horse and gave his rope a twirl. Hoot Gibson, Ken Maynard, and Hopalong. Tonto, the Lone Ranger, could do no wrong. Dale Evans, Roy Rogers, and Gabby Hayes. Trigger, so alive and so smart in those days. Buck Jones, Gene Autry, guns seldom drawn. There was Andy Devine, whose voice was gone. Tom Mix, Kit Carson, the Cisco Kid. No one loved them more than I did. There are movies still being shown today, like Titanic and Gone with the Wind. By the way, thought I would reside in a house like Tara, but God's plans for me were much more narrow. He has given me a life full of love, from husband, children, and friends unheard of, given me many gifts like joy, like poetry. One I'll quote now, if you don't disagree. It's called City Life. Living in a city, that's all I've ever done. Living in the country sounds like lots of fun. The traffic is horrific. The smog will burn your nose. The noise from a boombox will keep you on your toes. Barking dogs at midnight will open up your eyes. The sound of an ambulance before the sun can rise. The neighbors complaining, your grass has grown too high. But as for help in mowing, they scowl and then they sigh. I thought about moving out to a country place for peace and contentment and lots of space. No cars, no close neighbors, no loud music to bear. I could just sit rocking in my old rocking chair. Then it got so quiet, I was filled with self-pity. Right then I decided I'd never leave the city. Later. Now as many years have passed and all has been said and done, I now live in the country, so never say never, dear one.
Wonderful.